going on, guys? We got another oil change and a little bit of maintenance for a 2007 Honda Foreman ES 500. What we're doing is, like I said, just a little maintenance. We're doing an oil change, and the air filter is actually already pulled. It has a K&N in it, and I have that cleaning right now. So we're just going to do a little how-to. This one is very, very easy. Let's see what tools we need and what all we need here. We're going with, obviously, you need a oil filter, and I got a Tusk crush washer. There you go. There's part number if you want to check it out. Got some Honda oil, and these are all the tools you need. You need a, let's see if we can get this zoomed in. Right there. 17 millimeter. That's to get the drain plug out. You got an 8 millimeter to get the oil filter bolts off. A Phillips head screwdriver to get the plastic piece off of, so you can actually get to the oil filter. And this guy is a 13/16, and you can just use it for, I use it like this. Boom. So little extension. So if I got to break the drain plug loose. So that is all the tools you need. Super easy job. I said first thing you do is fire the quad up. I said I did that. Make sure it's nice and warm, so the oil drains out nice and quickly, and you get all the deposits going through the engine, getting it ready to go, to drain it all out. So I think this thing takes like 2.5 quarts or so. We're gonna check it out. I got extra, so we'll be good to go. Also ripping the whole front end of this thing apart. As you can see, he didn't, but his nieces flipped it and rolled it down a hill. And I got a headlight install. We're going to do a little video on that as well. So, as I said, start it. We'll just start right now. Right here. You got the Phillips head right here. You pull that out, and these just pop off. And that is where the oil filter is going to go. And I said we got to drain it. I'll get that on the bottom here. You won't be able to see it, but it is underneath there. So I will get the socket and everything on there, and we will drain it out. All right, so that's the old washer. They're little crush washers, and as you can see, we're getting it replaced. Just a quick little video of that. Sometimes these things, when you crush them on there, they're hard to get off. So what you can do is just get a set of pliers and go around it, hold it, and then unscrew it. It'll actually just unscrew with the threads. Just make sure you're not messing the threads up when you do it, but usually they unthread real easily. So, like I said, quickly use a tip, but when you put the new ones on, yeah, trying to do it holding the camera, boom, you slide right on, pretty easy. And like I said, these are crush washers, so tighten them up, and that's how they seal up. So, should be good there. We'll get this thing drained out and put this filter in and fill her up with some oil and check the level. Okay, we'll see if this will work. Right here is the drain. Get it on there. We'll just move it over a little bit. I said this is where you get the little extension on here. It's a little trick, and it's pretty easy to turn. Break it loose. Oh, hi, Callie. You gonna do this next time for me? Okay. Okay, so get ready for it to start draining. Unscrew that. Yeah, nasty. Okay, and that's it. Let that drain out as much as you can, and then we will move over and start pulling the filter itself out and let it drain as well. Okay, the oil is drained. We put the new plug in, and when you tighten them, there is a torque spec to it, but usually just tighten it until it's tight. Don't over tighten it. You don't want to pull any threads or anything like that. So this 8 millimeter, loosen them. Just be careful with them. And for me, I mean, you don't really have to. I'm assuming you don't have to on these. I'm gonna look at the sizes of these, but they probably can fit, either one of them fit wherever you want. But for me, when I do anything you take apart, I just put them exactly back where they came from. So we'll take this off. You guys are gonna see what I see on this thing. This quad has been ran. He doesn't, my uncle is actually the owner of this. He doesn't run it much, but he lets his nieces. They run it, and they run it pretty good. So we're gonna check and see what the oil was pretty darn dirty, but we'll see what the filter looks like here. And yeah, so that's about it. We'll clean all that up, check it out, see if there's anything in there. Any like big pieces, then you're going to be in some trouble. But there's always going to be a little bit. You should be able to see a little shine. It's always going to be there. I mean, it's just engine wears down. This is a 2007, so it's 10 years old now. So you're always going to have a little bit, but you definitely don't want to see big chunks. And I mean, if there's a lot of silver metallic in it, then you're going to be in some trouble. So we'll check the oil out. We'll put a new filter in, and we'll be good to go. Okay, we got it cleaned up a little bit. And also, I forgot to say, there is a spring in there. So this one obviously didn't pop out, but it wiggles pretty easily. They just pop right out. If it sticks to your filter somehow, just be mindful of that it might come out with your filter. And watch right there at the top right. There's an O-ring. Let me see if I can even. Yeah, there's an O-ring there. So clean that up. Make sure it's in good shape. When you got the new filter, make sure it's in the correct way. And there's a O-ring here. I did not get a new O-ring for this one. It's in pretty good shape, but keep an eye on that as well. And this is probably, anytime you change this, you're going to get oil everywhere. So it's kind of like a car filter. You want to lube it up a little bit, and this one's already going to have it. But either way, put some oil around and make sure it's got some lubrication on it, and put it back together. Like I said, this top piece right here where my thumb is, that goes up. If you forgot, that goes up where the O-ring is. So we'll put the new filter in, torque that down. That is also probably has a torque spec, but for me, I just tighten it down until I feel comfortable with it. Sometimes when you're torquing these small bolts, the torque spec is actually a little high, and they actually might pull the threads or do something weird. So really just be careful with that and just tighten it down to where you think it's tight. It doesn't need to be torqued down much at all, because it has a seal. And as long as the seal's in good shape, the oil isn't going to leak out. And both sealed. You got the O-ring here and, like I said, the O-ring up there. So make sure they're both clean and they look good. They don't have any cracks or anything like that. Put it all back together. We'll tighten it down. Then we're going to start adding some oil. And we'll talk about that too. All right, so the oil filter has been changed. The oil has been drained out. And now we are here to fill it up. And this is actually, if you're not real familiar with these quads, it's actually kind of hard to find. This cover here actually blocks the fill, if you can kind of see it like that, okay? And you just pop them off. They just got little tabs, 3 of them, and there's 1, 2, 3 right there. So you just pull that off, and that's where the oil fill, the dipstick is. And you don't have to take this one off up here. It covers like so. You don't have to take that off, but I'm actually cleaning the engine up for him before he comes to pick it up. So it's just, I'm going to have the covers off so that'll be nice and clean. So what we're going to do is we are going to fill this thing up. Like I said, I'm not exactly, I think it's like 2.5 quarts or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. So we're going to fill it up slowly and check. And what I do on these, I think even Honda says that what you're supposed to do is you fill it up and check the dipstick, but you do not screw the dipstick down in through the threads. You just put it in there, get the reading, pull it out, and that's where you need to be. Make sure you're in the level. So we will pull. We're actually using Pro Honda oil 1040. It's just oil that they had at the shop, and it was a good price, so I picked it up. And obviously your weight and stuff is going to be different depending on where you live. If you're in cold environments, that changes, and so forth. So this is what we're going to throw in her. So we've put in her last time, so we're going to keep doing that, and we'll be good. I'll show you a little process of checking the oil. It's pretty easy, but like I said, we'll go over it anyways. All right, so we added about half of that, so it is darn close to like 2.5 quarts or so, whatever it is. But so what you want to do is, here's the dipstick. Let's see if it'll focus in on it. Ooh, of course not. There it is. Okay, so you got your lines. So what you want to shoot for is like 3/4 way up, I would say is probably about good. Right now it's cold and hasn't been started yet, and all the oil's sitting down there without going through the engine. So what you want to do is just throw it in, and like I said, you don't screw it in, you just check it, pull it out, and look. Goodness, it won't even focus. Either way, it's right on the full mark, so it's good enough to at least fire up. So what you want to do is fire the thing up, let it idle for a little bit, get everything nice and warm, and you know you got enough oil in there. If it calls for like 2.5 quarts, and you know you have about that in it, you should be good to go. To at least fire it up, let it warm up, and then after it's warmed up, check the oil again, make sure all the levels are good. It should drop down a little bit, but as long as it's in the marks, you're good to go. So okay, so the panels are back on, everything's nice and cleaned up on both sides, and we still have the oil change light here. And if I'm not mistaken, you hold these 2 buttons down, and that's it. Well, dang, that was really easy. So, well, I guess that concludes the 2007 Foreman 500 oil change and reset procedure. That was very easy. So that was holding that darn light. Okay, holding the reset and the odometer trip button, and that's it. So we're good to go. Like I said, guys, if you like this one, give it a big thumbs up. We're gonna do another video on replacing this little headlight here, and I think that's about it on this. And we're actually going to replace the. I'm thinking about replacing the winch assembly. It's all bent up from when they crashed it, so I'm probably just going to buy a new bracket, and the rollers, they're all screwed up. So I was going to heat them up and try to bend them, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So we'll probably just get a quick little video on that, on how they install them on these quads and how to torque everything down and where they need to be set at. So that's about it. So like I said, guys, give it a big thumbs up, and if you like these, subscribe, and we will keep making these. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Have a good one. See you later.